So we've just got our second live event of the year coming up. So today what we're going to go through is we got a client photo shoot. We also have a group workout, we have a muscle camp, and we even have a walk in Salt Hill in the morning time. Now the reason I love in-person events is because we operate a one-to-one online coaching service. However, I think now more than ever, people are craving community, people are craving connection, and just being part of a movement and being part of a group. And a big goal of ours at McLifestyle Fitness is we also want to develop community where like-minded people, business owners, professionals, busy working professionals, they all come together and they get to interact with each other. So today you're going to see some of the behind the scenes of what goes on at a live event, at a photo shoot, and at a muscle camp.
So we all have excuses. I'm a single mum, I work full time. You have the excuses that you don't have time.
35, let's get to 40 now, let's just get to 40. 90 seconds. Wrist past your hips, there we go. Shoulders back a bit more, that's it. If you keep your feet in front of you, keep your body nice and straight. Just think of bringing your elbows into your pocket and then coming back down again.
My name is David. I've been working with McLifestyle Fitness for the last 6 months.
Fair play, Dave. So before you started, what was your biggest challenge?
Our biggest challenge, I suppose, was consistency with my nutrition, I suppose, and training. Was the two biggest challenges, I would say.
My name is Mark Bryan, and I've been working with Adrian for the last 6 months.
Fair play, Mark. What was your biggest challenge, would you say, before you started?
The biggest challenge for me was actually to get going, to make that call and the contact with you, and to just get into the routine of having the weekly sessions,
My name is Brian, and I've been working with McLifestyle Fitness for 5 months now.
All right, Brian. What was your biggest challenge, would you say, before you started?
For me, definitely the motivation side of it and the accountability. I tried a few training programs before this and could never just build the consistency enough to keep with it, and I always just kind of fell away and lost interest. So it's been a massive help for building the consistency and getting out and getting the sessions done, and just feeling good in myself. Try and feel good in myself again.
I'm Mossy. I'm working with McLifestyle Fitness for the past 6 months.
First ever photo shoot, Mossy. How are you feeling?
I was nervous coming into it, but after doing a few photos, I'm feeling good. Feeling good, I must say.
Feeling good
and looking good.
My name is John Ormsby. I've been working for McLifestyle Fitness for the last 6 months.
First ever photo shoot, John. How are you feeling?
Unreal. Amazing, yeah.
How you doing? Mark is my name. I've been in fitness lifestyle for going on 3 months now.
I'm Adrian. I've been with McLifestyle for about 10 months now, since November last.
Did you have any fears before joining online coaching?
The biggest thing would be, would I keep going myself? Would I have the wherewithal just to go to the gym 4 times a week? But just having you guys around, just keep me honest.
My name's Jacqueline. I've been with McLifestyle Fitness since October of last year.
So 10 months out at this stage. What was your biggest challenge, Jacqueline, before you would have started?
I suppose we all have excuses. I'm a single mum, I work full time. You have the excuses that you don't have time. I never had breakfast. I didn't make time for breakfast. Now I can't go without my breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast for years.
My name's Niall. I've been working with McLifestyle Fitness since January, so 7 months now.
7 months at this stage. What was your biggest challenge line before you would have started?
just knowing where to start. Didn't, try the gym, didn't really work for me, so I needed kind of that additional information, additional help that I've definitely gotten from you and your team.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, first of all, everyone, big round of applause for everyone for coming down today. Awesome to see. We have Dublin, we've got from Cork all the way over. So first of all, fair play to everyone for coming down. Hats off, next off to everyone who did the photo shoot. Shape was insane. Shout out to everyone who did the 1 hour workout with John. Workout number 1 of 2 for today. And just thanks everyone for being here. So first of all, before we start, so if anyone took any photos from the event, if you tag my Instagram page, the coaching page, and John's coaching page, we'll reshare it on our stories, and one post is one entry to win €100. So that is before we start. So today what I want to go through is, I joined the gym in May 2013. So I've been training for 12 years. And going to the gym for the very first day, literally it changed my life. So without the gym, I definitely would not be here today. I don't know where I'd be, what my life would turn out to be. So over the years, I've learned a lot. I've been coaching for 7 years, training for 12 years. So today what I want to go through is my top 10 lessons that I've learned in 12 years of fitness. All right, start out with number 1, and that is that your results will not exceed your identity. So I've taken over 2,000 consult calls at this stage, and I hear the same story over and over again. So most people, when they go to the gym, there's usually a moment. So for me, my moment was I got called small Adrian by a girl in college. And that stung. And I didn't like that. So that gave me the motivation to go to the gym. For others, it could be that you were on holidays, you didn't feel comfortable with your top off. You saw the scale go up to its highest point and you reach your all-time low. Maybe your clothes didn't fit as good. But usually that moment gets us started. And what often happens when people have that moment is they get to the gym. So they start eating better, start walking more, start watching the nutrition more, okay? And after a few weeks of being consistent, usually something happens that throws us off track. It could be a night out, it could be a cheap meal, it could be a go on holiday, some form of event. And before we know it, it's like 4 workouts turns to 3, 3 goes back to 2, 2 goes to 1. The late night snacking, watching Netflix kicks in again. And then all of a sudden we're back to square one until we get that moment again and we are motivated to start. So what you need to realise is, yes, we want weight loss, but you also have to adjust your identity and what you feel you're capable of. Because if you lose 10 kilos and your body changes, but your mind is still in the 1.0 version of you, people will find a way to self-sabotage and get back down to their comfort point again. For me, I will never allow myself to get above 12%. That's the standard I set for myself. And you just have to have that standard for you, because often what happens, well, if you don't have a standard, what's going to happen? You're just going to allow yourself to drop, and before you know it, it's a pound or 2 every single year. And these pounds add up over time. So make sure you raise your standards and just decide, what are your standards you set for yourself? It could be 15% body fat, it could be 20%, but don't allow yourself to get above that standard. If you're into fitness, but then the people around you are not into fitness, they will nearly find a way to pull you back down. So just be careful, especially when it comes to fitness. Don't take advice, as one of my mentors said, of someone you wouldn't swap place in the advice they're given, or in the area they're given advice on. Okay, lesson number 2. So, did anyone ever watch, so nutrition, it's all about whole foods, protein and calories. Did anyone ever watch YouTube videos back in the day? It's like these influencers, like what I eat in a day. And it's like pizzas and cereal and cupcakes. You're like, how are these people so shredded? Yet this is what they're eating. So for me, it's like, I got so much information overload back in the day when I saw those videos. I'm like, God, how is that even true? So what you need to understand first of all is there's a difference between looking fit and being fit. Because technically you could eat cupcakes and Jaffa cakes and whatever it might be and still be shredded if you're in a calorie deficit. But I'd like to classify everyone here as a high performer. And if you want to look good and feel good, okay, it's food quality doesn't matter. So this begs the question, are all calories created equal? What do we think? So if I had 100 calories worth of a chicken breast and 100 calories worth of donuts, Are they all created equal? Well, technically they are, because a calorie is a unit of measurement, just like a kilometre is a unit of measurement. So if I asked Dave you to run a kilometre, we'd all agree that's 1,000 metres. However, if I asked Dave to run a kilometre up a mountain and for Adrian to run a kilometre around the flat Prom Salt Hill, even though the distance is the same, the impact that has in the body is completely different. So nutrition is exactly the same, right? So yes, calories in, calories out matters, but it's a very, very narrow lens to look at things. And that's why we also look at a McLifestyle. The big three things are having mostly single ingredient whole food, having protein at every single meal, and eating the right amount of calories. And that's really what's important. So yes, I'm not arguing that you do need a calorie deficit to lose body fat, but you don't want a nutrient deficit. In other words, you don't want to be deficient in key minerals and nutrients that you're not getting from more processed foods. So that's why it just goes to show that yes, you want to look good, but I think everyone here also wants to feel good, function good, have good cognitive performance, and that's why calories in, calories out matters, but also the type and the food quality. If you analyse your current nutritional habits, how could you even make them just 10% better? I know for me it's just cutting the grazing and the snacking in between meals. Sometimes I'm guilty of it too. It's like just having more whole meals and not being grazing or snacking in between. Point number 3, in that, look, yes, eating healthy is important, but you can still eat healthy and gain body fat. So this is one of our clients, Tamim here, you can see in the top left-hand corner. And we had our first consultation call. I remember him saying, so he's a medical doctor. He said, look, I'm anti-processed foods. I don't like any extra sweeteners or anything like that. And he's going through his food diary, like, he eats quite healthy. And then I asked him to send on some pictures. So this is a bowl of porridge with a serving of granola. This is a bowl of porridge with a serving of chia seeds, the middle one, and a serving of peanut butter, which is around 300 worth of calories. This is avocado on toast with an omelette and smoked salmon. Okay? These are all healthy foods, but if you overconsume healthy foods, you can still gain body fat. All right? So that's why be very, very careful about calorie domino foods, I call them. So a good example is just peanut butter. Okay? If I had 300 grams of strawberries, that's 100 calories. If I had 17 grams of peanut butter, that's also 100 calories. That's 18 times more volume of food for the same number of calories. So you've got to be thinking now, okay? When you're trying to lose body fat, the goal should be to eat as much food as possible. So you're full. And think of all the space that's going to take up in your stomach, having 300 grams of food versus 17 grams of food. All right, so the biggest lesson here is just count your calories sooner, because when I was younger, anything I saw protein on, I just used to eat. So I used to see these chocolate peanuts and they had contains protein. Chocolate Muji milk contains protein. 1,200 calories combined, those two things. And I used to have those pretty much, maybe not every day, but a couple of times a week. Now, those meals we just had there, they're 400 calories. So imagine you could have 3 of those meals with the exact same number of calories as just these 2 small little snacks. It's important to count your calories, but you don't want to get too obsessive either, because that can lead to binge eating, which can often be the fruit but not the root of all problems. I'm just so proud of this guy, Paul. He's 60 years old when he started the coaching last year, which in itself, like, to 60 to take on something new. He was just doing cardio, triathlons, running. Never did any weights before. So I think just having, first of all, a growth mindset that you're never too old to make a change. And one thing with him, so he's an executive, he has 200 staff under him, and he was traveling, in his first 12 weeks alone, he was traveling to like 10 different countries. So a lot of people would say, I'm going to wait for the perfect time, when the holiday's over. Some guy said, I've got a wedding in October, which is like 2 months away. So should I wait until after them before I start? And like, do you plan on going to weddings in the future? Because otherwise, now is always the perfect time. And for him, he lost 7.7 kilos in his first 12 weeks, despite all that travel. Now, he could have waited for the perfect time, but rather, progress beats perfection. Perfection is the enemy of progress. And if you always aim for just perfection, you're just setting yourself up for failure, because there's always going to be more you can do. Okay? And that's why I love the mentality that something is better than nothing. But if anyone has ever binge ate before or got into emotional eating, often we find that these are some of the common triggers. The first one is just stress. Maybe it's stress from work, relationship, a stressful day, and poor sleep can be a big thing. So when your sleep is poor, what do you crave more? You crave more sugar. So sleep is a foundation, I genuinely think. Environment is a big one for me. Like, God bless my mum, if I'm at home now and the food's there, if there's food in the environment that it's not nutrient dense, it can be very hard to out-diet your environment. That's why Christmas is so challenging for everyone. So that's another trigger. And boredom can be a big one, and just hold. So am I feeling hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? This is one of our online clients, Dan, and he was doing 5 workouts a week for 6 years. 5 workouts a week for 6 years, and his weight did not budge. 115 kilos. And it just kind of occurred to him, okay, well maybe it's not the hour in the gym that I'm falling down, it's the 23 hours outside of it. So when he started working, implementing some of those principles, inside 11 months he went from 115 down to 84.5. That's nearly 30 kg loss there. That 1 hour in the gym is only 4% of your day. And you really can't undo it with your nutrition if your nutrition is not on point. Okay, so I would rather you skip an hour, if it came to it, in the gym, and use that hour to meal prep than the other way around. That's how important it is. Does that make sense? When I went to America that summer, my routine was a bit off, and I didn't have as much consistency with the gym. So every time I went to the gym, it was just an ego thing. I used to just test, could I do 100 kg? Now, if you count up the number of reps that I was doing, okay, maybe 2 or 3 warm-up reps, and then one just test and rep. That's like 3 or 4 reps per session. Over time, that volume is not going to be enough to maintain. So that's why if you spend most of your time in the gym, focus on building your strength. When you do actually do a 1 rep max, maybe I wouldn't recommend a 1 rep max, but if you do a 3 rep max test, the most amount of weight you're able to lift for 3 reps, you will be able to lift heavier. But if every day in the gym you're trying to just test your strength, you're not doing enough volume to accumulate there. If you're always in the gap, you're thinking of how far you have to come. So imagine now that you need to lose 25 kilograms and you've lost 10 kg. If someone's in the gap mindset, like, oh, I still have 15 more to go. Whereas if you're in the gain, you're like, I've already lost 10 kg. Okay, that's more weight than I've lost in the last 2 years. The problem though is that if you're always in the gap, you're comparing yourself against an ideal. And it's like, you see somebody in social media, oh, why can't I look like them? God, I've so much further to go. Whereas if you focus on the gain, okay, look, we're all on our own individual journey here. And don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10. So that's why you spend more time in the gain, just focus on how far you've come rather than how far you have to go. Going back to one of the first points my mentor taught me is that don't take advice off someone you wouldn't swap place with in the area they're giving advice. And that's why you change can make others uncomfortable, and don't lower your bar. This guy here, Daniel, he was yo-yo dieting for 7 or 8 years. Lost weight, regained it, lost weight, regained it. Same story over and over again. And I remember for Daniel, he was just saying that he wasn't maybe mobile enough to like play with his son, play golf with his son. Inside 3 or 4 months, he lost over 12 kilograms, fit into his old wardrobe again, is able to play golf with his son, and just has a much, much better quality of life. Human beings, okay, the biggest thing we need is just identity and purpose. And I think having a fitness goal and having something to work towards will give you this. And that's why it's like, just keep playing the game. You don't ever win in the game of fitness. Behind mountains are more mountains, and the goal of this game is to keep on playing. It's not like Galway playing Dublin or Ireland playing England where there's a winner and a loser. And I know for myself, the day I think that I've made it, okay, the day that you don't think you don't need to do it anymore, when you get complacent, that's when your standard will slowly start to drop. So just stick to the game, keep playing the game, and just keep enjoying it. Get in that rotation. Heel on the floor, don't let the heel come off the floor. That heel nice and straight, and just drop that back leg, keep the chest nice and tall, up and down. Now from here, okay, rest your left hand on the floor, and then what you want to do is you want to rotate this hand, look up to the ceiling, and just get that movement in the spine. Good. Drive the knees out, chest nice and tall. Straight into a reverse lunge, so left leg forward, drop the right leg, and step forward, and let's just alternate. Just one set and then we move around, yeah. Okay, the further you put your feet forward, the harder it is. Yeah. If you keep your feet in front of you, keep your body nice and straight. Okay. Just think of bringing your elbows into your pocket and then coming back down again. That's it, now all the way up and drive the elbows down. Good. Nice and tall. Well done. You might need to cross your legs back, that's all right too. 35, let's get to 40 now, let's just get to 40. We're at 40, can we get to 50? Can we hang on for 5 more seconds, 45. Keep going, we're at 50 now, can we get a minute? Can we get a minute? 55. Stick it out for these 5. We're at 60 seconds. We're at a minute now. Every second will count. Well done, Mark. That's it, Mossy. Keep going, John. It could come down to it, the second group. 90 seconds. So when you finish your workout, hang from the bar. It's not only great for your grip strength, but it's also one of the best shoulder mobility drills you can do. If there's any body part you want to target, do some extra reps at the end of a session. So what I would do if I'm going to grow my arms, if I'm doing leg day, I'll do like 3 sets of bicep curls for the last 5 minutes. Now, you do that for 4 sessions a week, okay? That's an extra 12 working sets for your biceps. It's a very simple way, so if there's any area you want to focus on, let us know. And also at the end of your workout, 5 extra minutes goes a long way. So that's a great one now to add, I would say, to your routine, because that's core strength, it's grip strength, it's mobility all in one there. All right, but first of all, round of applause for everyone. We either got 1 or 2 workouts in. And also a 5K walk, so we got a lot of activity in today. Did we enjoy that? Yeah? All right. So just well done to everyone for coming down. Fair play to John for organising the muscle camp. For Ollie and France as well, I know they're not here today, for the one-on-one coaching. And it's awesome to see. It's like, I love online coaching, I love fitness, it's a big part of my life, but also live events are amazing too. It's good to just see everyone in person, and when you get that energy in the room there, it's just awesome. So honestly, I'm really, really proud of everyone for coming down, and it's just, it's great to see the progression. Remember what I said, you don't win at this game, and the goal of the game is just to keep on playing now. So just continuously set your own standards, and just continuously try to improve, okay? Small incremental changes to add up over time. All right, so hats off for today. We'll get a group photo. And then there are changing rooms downstairs if anyone wants to shower, okay? And then we can go for some food then after that, all right? So, yeah. Okay, so that is a wrap on the day. Unbelievable day out. So we started out with a 5K morning walk in Salt Hill. We then did our client photo shoot. We also did a muscle camp. We had some lunch. I have a presentation on my top 10 lessons that I learned in fitness, and we wrapped it up with a group workout as well. Honestly, days like this give me such fulfillment, because when you're working behind a laptop, sometimes you don't always see the other side and the changes that you're making and the impact you're making. And hearing stories like people dropping clothes size, feeling more confident, feeling better in themselves, and just generally waking up with a sense of direction. My voice is nearly gone now speaking, but that is really what it's all about. So I love these live events, and if you're on the fence, you're considering, doing a photo shoot or become part of a movement, okay? What I'd encourage you is that on the other side of that fear is the person you want to become. And I know for me, whenever I step out of my comfort zone, like some people coming here today and doing a photo shoot, they never imagined or they never planned on doing that. But when you take that step out of your comfort zone, on the other side of that fear is the person you want to become, and you'll always feel better afterwards when you push yourself. So today it was an amazing wrap up. We're going to grab some food now, and I'm just so grateful to get to do what we're able to do on a daily basis. And this gives me such fulfillment and such joy, and we look forward to the next one.